That's so
just the
funny.
end. Hey, are you live already?
Yes.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I completely forgot I had a lot to tell you.
Tell me after.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure this is set up properly. There we go. Got to do the whole YouTube thing. All right. There we go. Come on.
Episode 60.
60. We got 9 more.
9 more. Then we've made it.
You have DNF in 19 minutes, so I can't save it stream. That's all right. That's all right. You can come back and we'll watch it later if you want to. We're just talking about today's live stream, so. First impressions, overall thoughts. Is the world coming to an end?
Trent, welcome on in.
Life experiences. There we go. All right, I'm set up. Blap, what's up, dude? Oh, D&D. I didn't know what DNF was. I was just going to play it off like I knew what you were talking about. Perfect time to just finish watching the stream again. Yeah, I got to watch it a second time. I have to watch it a second time and probably a third time. I'm right there with you.
You know, that's what today's stream is, because I only watched it once too.
I always miss stuff.
Let's get some feedback and see where it goes. Yeah, I do too. All right, so here, let me change scenes.
Wow, Blap, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, dude.
Trent, welcome on in, dude.
I was just watching the fight again before you showed up because you were doing your cleaning. I didn't get all the way through it, but I got to watch a good portion of it again.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Appreciate you guys being in here. So, welcome to episode 60 of the Voices of Verra with myself, Nice Gaming, and no one. Appreciate you guys being here. We could not do this without you, the Voices of Verra. We are here for episode 60, chat. Episode 60, 9 more episodes, and we finally reach a very important milestone. Mio, how you doing? Welcome on in. Episode 60, everybody. Today we are going to be discussing what you see here in the footage in the background behind me. There is going to be, today Intrepid premiered the Firebrand Dragon Raid, as well as the they went through the Citadel and then the Firebrand Dragon. But yeah, it looked pretty good. We're going to get our thoughts and everything like that here shortly as we get some more people in. Appreciate you guys being here. And it is you got I'm sure you're off for this weekend. You got a 3-day weekend as well.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay.
Get some music.
There we go.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get your overall. Let's get your, you know what? I don't know how we should do it. Should we do it by the stream? Should we do it by the raid itself, or what? And chat, I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and do the stream. Let's keep it simple like we've always done.
Okay.
Chat, I want you guys to give your answers on a scale of 1 to 10. What did you think of this stream? What was it for you? And what was it for you else?
So I want to, I'm going to preface this really quick. I started at the beginning of the year, like I lowered my overall 1 to 10 rating. And so for me, I think the highest rating I've given so far this year is like a 7.5, 8 so far. So we've had a lot of good ones because I'm just waiting for, you know, the next live stream to be way better than the last one. So anyways, with that in mind, I was personally very excited for this live stream. Nice. I kind of talked to you a little bit about this earlier this week, but I'm doing a video on it'll come out next week on things I'm most excited about, like what I'm most excited about for Ashes of Creation.
Yeah.
And it's the PVX experience. And I went through nostalgically, and I went through like old clips of Imperial City because that was like my favorite PVX experience ever. And
Definitely.
I remember back in the day when everything was challenging, the clan fears were just tearing my ass up. No homo. Like just terrible things, right? They were just kicking my ass. And it like I look back at it and I was like, things have changed so much in like the last 7 years for it. It'd be really cool to have that experience. So I had that fresh in my mind, and I was really excited to see an environmental experience for Ashes of Creation. And so overall, I liked it a lot. I'm gonna say that this live stream as a whole was in 7.5. Like it really could have been higher. We'll talk about some of the issues as a whole. Like I think there were some issues with the fog or whatever that was.
Yeah, yeah.
That stuff doesn't normally bug me, but this time it just didn't look good. It just kept irking me a little bit. What do you think?
And yeah, I like what you said there at the end, and we can deep dive into that fog right after we give our rating. Yeah, because I'm with you. I'm with you. And as you said that, it made me think of something. But so my rating, Survivors here says 7 out of 10.
Okay.
That's what I give it. I give it a 7 out of 10 myself. And I'll be completely honest, chat. This was the first stream. Well, besides the UI showcase, I'll kid you not. That UI showcase to this day is still the only stream I never watched more than once. Like you watch it live, and I never revisit it. If there's a juicy Easter egg in there, well, I'm not gonna probably find it. But other than that, this was the only stream I wasn't like counting the days to and speculating and all this.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it's not a system showcase, but it's also just showing us another POI, which I feel like I'm going to spend the better part of the upcoming months playing. And the Riverlands is decently large, and I'm sure there's a lot of POIs already ready for us. But it's like I'm going to be playing this. I don't want to be spoiled. Like, don't get me wrong. There's times where I wanted to see some stuff, like the Tumok fight, or when they explored the Tower of Carfen. I want to see some because I want to see what the PVE like. I want to see what they're
Yeah.
doing with the PVE and the mobs and stuff like that. So, but I think at this point, I didn't need another POI showcase. I didn't need another boss, personally.
Sure.
Now, that's why I wasn't excited for it. But what I did see, I did enjoy. And I think it was important for them. And I was talking about it last night on the stream, but it could be looked at as a marketing stream. They want people to see, like, oh, look at this cool dragon, buy keys. But at the same time, it's also really good because I think you were talking about it in Discord where it's like, it's important for the PvE mains to get something because it's been a while since they had a
Yeah.
PvE focused or dedicated rather showcase to show
Yes.
like, hey, we have mechanics, we have cool PvE, we have a lot going on. And I think that did a good job of this. So why I wasn't like counting the days for it as far as topic wise, I did enjoy it. I give it a good 7 out of 10. Nothing crazy, but good.
Sure.
And Mio here gave it a 7.25 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Yeah. I do want to talk about that though. So the visual, and we don't have it here yet on screen chat, but we'll get
Tatamo,
to it
hi.
here. Huh?
I just said hi to Tatamo. I'm sorry. I should have
Oh,
just. My bad.
but I that fog, the visual fog slash smoke slash all the visuals at the end of the showcase during the raid boss fight. While it was cool, I think that dragon fight was like really cool. I can't
Yeah.
talk about this fight without looking at it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on my end. Here,
Sure.
1 second, chat, while I get that pulled up,
Yeah.
so we'll have better reference.
I'll speed it up so you guys can see what we're talking about as a whole. I thought it looked really good. I thought it looked even better when I went to watch it on YouTube. When I put headphones in versus watching it on my phone, it was even better after that.
Mhm.
Like it got better and better the more I watched it. But yeah, there's just something with the like. I mean, we'll talk about it as we're seeing it, but when they turn the camera, the fog just changed drastically, or the smoke or whatever. And so it was just, for whatever reason, it wasn't like the lighting or the shading that was happening. It was just like different adjustments. All of a sudden it'd be really foggy and then it would be clear, really foggy and then
Yeah.
clear. And it was really weird is all I'm trying to say. And so it shouldn't have detracted me as much. Like I wasn't somebody that was like super excited about the lighting changes. Or anything like that. But this one specifically, I was like, I wonder what's going on with that. But I don't want to take away
Mhm.
from it. I don't want to take away from it too much because yeah, like what you said. I remember last year when they had all these live streams nice, and we were like, when are you going to show us the PvP stuff? Like
Yeah.
this is a there's PvP is a big PvP is a big part of this game, and you're not showing
Uh-huh.
PvP stuff yet. And then we've had this entire year of just awesome PvP stuff, and it's like, yeah,
True.
it would be cool if you went back and we looked at some other systems so that it's not everybody is like gung ho about PvP. Some people will tolerate it, so having other systems to get people excited about, I thought was very important.
Very well said. Like, I think it's very important that we did get it. So the visuals, man, I got it freeze framed on my stream here. Like, you don't even see this dragon's head in chat. I think you would agree that Steven's in a good enough distance for rendering and being able to see this dragon's head, and there's just an unnecessary amount of fog. But then you can get like, okay, are they going for realism? And is this intended? Because okay, there's water around, the fire hits the water, and maybe that's making smoke. Some top tier UE5 tech. I don't know. You could also play like dragon fire. That means there's smoke in the area. You could look at, well, they're fighting on a sandy kind of area, not sandy, but dirt, so that's kicking up dust every time he flaps his wings. All that makes sense to me. Is that the reason? Is that the intent? And even if it is, should we not tone it down is the question. But not to focus on negatives, let's get to some positives. The fight in the dragon looks pretty cool to
The
me.
music,
The fight in the
man.
dragon looks pretty cool. The music, yes.
Oh, the
It
music was
was
so
so,
good.
bro. I was wondering, like, did they what do you call it, dub that music over the fight, like in editing before they upload it to stream, or is that the music for the fight? That's what I was curious about because
Yeah,
that was some good music. Some really good music, man. Um, I just I really like the mechanics. So I was first looking at it, I was like, this dragon needs more actions per minute. That was one of my big complaints with ESO, like the boss will light attack, 3 seconds later light attack. It wasn't like much
yeah,
pressure. It didn't look like fluid, natural movement like a real thing would do. It was like on a timer slash rotation, like a global cooldown on an NPC. Um, and then I started watching the fight. The longer and longer the fight went on, I was like, never mind. I think I'm all right with
yeah,
this. Because
yeah,
this dragon was wiping people. I was like, don't turn up its actions per minute. Because
yeah.
I love, okay, so we talked about this before. I love when these ads, I love seeing these ads and these bosses take a long time to dwindle down. I first started really dialing in on it during the commission stream. I love how those little 2 to 3 person pools took Steven a very long time. And this dragon, this world boss, when it came to a world boss, I was like, it's a world boss. There's no cap on
Yeah.
how many people can be there. So what happens when you bring 20 people? I wasn't even thinking about them bringing 40, bro. They brought like 40, and this was still a long fight. To me, bravo, Intrepid. That is very impressive. And it's not like it was just like a big health sponge either. Like it had mechanics, it had certain moves.
Yeah.
If anything, if you want to still say it's a work in progress, it could, we can't say it's perfect, but if they wanted to add like one more different variation in attack, I guess they could. But from what I saw, it's phenomenal. That flying into the sky and then raining down with the fire.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
that's
good.
pretty sick.
I thought it was good,
It's
man.
pretty sick.
Like when I was watching this, I was trying to compare and this is why I know I'm excited for Alpha 2 is because I keep comparing it to games that are out right now. Like we're comparing
Hmm.
like I'm looking at Alpha 2 stuff. I'm like, well, how does this compare to other style like world events and stuff? And so the
Yeah.
ones I keep thinking of is like Turkulon and the holiday stuff for New World, right? Where because they have the big boss that shows up, and we'd have 40, 50 people doing the New World bosses and nobody's health bar was moving, right? Like nobody's health bar is moving.
Yeah.
And we're watching this and like you said, if Steven didn't have God mode on and he wasn't able to pick people up, that I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that 40-man group was wiping. I feel pretty confident saying that. So yeah,
yes.
the
Very good point.
difficulty
I forgot
was
all about that.
great.
Dude, the voices of Verra are going off. I see a lot of takes in chat right now. Welcome on
Let's
in,
hear it.
everybody. I do want to address first that what you just said. If Steven, this was difficult. I think they had over 10 people or half the people wiped at one point. If Steven wasn't God mode, resin people, and remember that res should have a cooldown, and that's an ability. So Steven wouldn't be able to do that in a normal scenario. So that tells me that they tried this a couple times and maybe they failed. And Steven did address it. He's like, hey, it doesn't make for a good showcase if I'm dying. And I think that makes sense. If he's doing like a normal 4-man content to kind of let you gauge the difficulty of a certain thing, then okay. I want to see you with regular cooldowns, health. I want to see what the normal combat is. In a situation like this where it's 40 people on screen anyway, I don't mind going God mode and just helping out just so we can get through the end of the
Yeah.
showcase, see the boss die, etc. So I thought that was pretty cool. But it goes to show you, like, imagine if they didn't have God mode cleric. But yeah, as far as the fog goes, Copium Clinic said might give a competitive advantage to turn that down. AV said 8 out of 10. Wiz says, were they using the fog to help dampen rendering distance so it didn't slow things down? Maybe. I
Ooh,
would think it would
interesting.
just cause more performance issues, but I don't know how that stuff works. So you guys would know better than me.
So
Um,
I'm sorry, really quick on the fog too. Nice. Gallwood also
yeah,
said, and I'm noticing this also because the first time I watched it on Twitch, and then the second time I watched it on YouTube. And I
yeah.
think I'd have to go back and compare, but I do think it looks better on YouTube. Like the fog isn't nearly as pronounced as it was on Twitch during the live stream. So maybe it was. I have no idea. So I wanted to bring that up. Gallwood brought up that good point there on the fog.
So something I'm seeing a lot of is a lot of people complaining about Steven's POV and his gameplay during this. I know that's not a surprise, but during this stream, I've seen it a lot. Even in chat right now, I just saw someone say it, like there was a lot of complaints, kind of that he was just like not healing, just kind of standing there and like not even getting good angles. I'll maybe notice that on another watch back, but yeah. There was a lot. I saw a lot during the live stream chat, and I think we saw some in Discord as well. The dragon entrance was epic. Yes. Joshua says this game isn't ready for alpha. This makes it seem like you're going to be fighting a new dragon every night and exploring dungeons all the time. This makes it seems like you're going to be fighting a new dragon every night. I don't think that's what this implies. Please be patient when you start seeing actual Alpha 2 gameplay. There's a long road ahead. Oh, I get what you're getting
Oh,
at, Joshua. Say less. Say
yeah.
less.
Well,
Yeah,
we
I can
know.
see that. I can see that. But yeah, I know, Josh. Trust me. I know. I
We
know. Um,
we know.
um,
But yeah, the dragon looks good. That's all I'm trying to say.
yeah, I forgot all about the entrance, but Copium Clinic's right. That was a heck of an entrance. Mio says, wanted the dragon to have more tail and wing attacks. Very fair. Did we see them like flap his wings to like knock back players? I think that would be a cool mechanic that every dragon should have. But yeah, the PvP was missing, dude. So who said it, man? I said something in Discord, and someone was like, this is without PvP. Like this is a 40-man raid, struggling, wiping with
Yeah.
someone on God mode, and there's no threat of PvX. Like there was someone I saw, like they were sitting back here. I'm sorry, chat. I'll hit play so we're not just looking at this freeze frame the whole time. Sorry, horrible streamer. I still had the same freeze frame of the fog. But there was some people like kind of chilling in the back with their health low. I'm like, damn, imagine if Else was like on his rogue and just
Just
jumped on
ganking.
that guy, finished him off, like just picking people apart while they're trying to do their a difficult raid, like where they have enough going on as is. Like that'll be just crucial. That would be like, I don't imagine this fight. And chat, I don't want to see no one complain about the difficulty. Do not let them tone this down. I sound like a broken record. Hell, I just did it on the stream last night. But please don't sacrifice PvE difficulty because the threat of
Absolutely not.
PvX exists, man. I want these difficult challenges. I was gonna say in-game content. This isn't even in-game content. I just want difficult PvE.
Yep.
Like, just let us have this. Let us have challenging fights, man. Like I said, you don't need to go WoW Mythic Plus, but just give us some tough fights. Like this is a 40-man group on one world boss. 40 people and they struggled, and I love it. I
Yeah.
freaking love it.
Well, and even so, I
Um,
went back and I watched the build up too nicely, where they did the quest to like get the egg, right? And I went
yeah,
back
yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
and I went back and I watched it. In the first like tier twos, they were chunking the tank pretty good. Like he had like 5k health, 4500 health, something like that. And like you see a couple hits, like they had two clerics, they had a bard in the group, and like you just see the health bar and the tank dropping, and I'm like, and I'm right there with you. Do not change the difficulty. Like the first thing when I saw it, I was like, maybe the difficulty could go up a little bit for the first NPCs, but the dragon was good. Like I thought the dragon was
Yeah.
good. There's going to be so much time where there will be nobody to fight, and you want to make sure players have a challenge. And if you make it too boring, then the game's boring and people aren't going to play.
Yep. Yep, well said. Players need a challenge to work towards. AM Valentine earlier had said, the whole stream I was screaming to change POV because Steven was literally staring at walls during fights. Now I'm gonna be overly looking for that. Like, poor Steven, he just can't win. Everyone thinks he's bad at his own game.
He's trying to take pictures and screenshots in God mode, and people are like, "Show me the cleric skills. Show me the healing. Let me see it." And he just won't.
Yeah. I mean, he technically might as well. I mean, I know he was trying to help with healing somewhat occasionally. He was on res duty, but he honestly, they should have just brought another cleric and just had Steven watch the whole fight. Dude, imagine that footage. Steven watching the whole fight. Hide UI, 4K footage, nothing on the HUD, just literally watching this dragon fly around. I think that would be pretty epic. Maybe not for the whole
It
fight
would
because you
be.
want to see like how often people like, health is dropping, whatever, I guess. But I think that would be a cool cinematic angle. But yeah. Spiny Hog here says, I know they can easily adjust this, but to me, music was a huge disappointment. They really need to improve the soundtrack. It's so important for the hype. Bro, everyone's loved the music. You're the first with that take. I'll be honest, Spiny, I've not seen no one with that take. Are you talking about the music during this boss fight, this dragon boss fight? Or are you talking about like Ashes of Creation music in general? Is what I'm curious about. Because everyone liked the music during this fight.
I like the music.
I kind of want to see maybe like 3 raid groups try this while doing PvP. I would like to see that too, Savage. Steven also started an encounter in the middle of this fight. He was straight up griefed. Oh my. I didn't
Yeah, that
notice
was
that
great.
for real.
Yeah, he pulled some ads halfway through the tower. It was pretty funny.
Oh my. Music was okay, yeah. During the boss fight only. Oh yeah. See, I don't remember the music for leading up to the boss. I'll be honest, and maybe that says enough, right? But yeah, the boss fight music, this dragon boss fight music was good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Music is, yeah. Everyone seems to forgetting this alpha looks better than current games out there. Very true. Honestly, like, look at the texture. Else, did you see the water, dude? Did you see that water?
Yeah, I did.
That
I
UE5
did.
water was really good, man. It was really good. But yeah, the textures look good, the visuals look good. Very good, actually. Like,
So
very good.
So we just got to a point on the live stream about around the 38-minute mark. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Whoever it was gets a flame shot at him and just literally gets incinerated in the water, and you see the water wave of the ashes going down like span out. It's pretty funny.
Oh wow, here, let me go back to
Yeah,
that.
it's
I'll
a
go
38
to
minutes even from the YouTube
Oh,
link.
perfect. All right, let's check this out, chat.
It's the Bard. It's pretty damn funny.
Oh, wait, did I? Oh, let me go back some. That looks good. That looks so good. Let me watch that again. Little delay. What's up, baby?
You don't think a pug group could wipe that dragon? Yeah, I mean, with the current skill level of players and everything that so far that was shown, yeah, I think a pug group would have a very hard time with the dragon, and I think that's the way it should be. I think in general, I think challenges are better than not challenges. I mean, if you make things too easy and stuff's easy to acquire, it kind of makes the game less fun. It makes it a little bit more boring, in my opinion.
Yeah. Mio says, I'd like PvE to stay the same or get harder, but I would like PvP to have a little bit more time to kill. Yeah, I could see that. I've liked I used to be we've talked about this before, but I used to be like, I want a quick time to kill, but the more and more I watch this game and how it plays out, I'm like, I kind of like the time to kill that I've seen thus far, although there's so many variables, but I just want a chance to respawn. I want a chance to be able to respawn. Look at DA running away on the rock. Oh man. But yeah, music was good. I feel like when they add cinematic and stuff, this game is gonna go crazy. Yeah. Scorched earth touching the water should be boiling the water. Welcome on in, Viral. But yeah, visually a very good showcase. Really top tier graphics fidelity wise. It's funny. I had one critique during this whole fight,
Yeah,
and that critique was no ads, no NPCs spawn. And then right as I said it,
I was gonna say.
ad spawn.
Yeah,
They spawn. I was like, oh, okay. So there's other things to worry about. I freaking love that. Like, do you turn your back to the dragon to focus this NPC? Does your off tank now have something to really prioritize? So that's really cool. Um, I and also enraged mechanic. Enraged mechanic was really cool thing to see that they had. The longer the fight takes or have that burn phase, that's very good. It lets me know that this content should remain difficult for a decently long time. So yeah. But overall, I'm very satisfied with what they showed.
I
Very
d-
satisfied with what they showed.
it popped up like 5-10 minutes ago, but there was a part where the dragon went to do the stomp, and you see Bucky come in with the bard with the shield, and just shield is meant like he shield slides through the entire group around the dragon, and it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm watching it, I'm like, man, this stuff's so freaking cool. Like you start to see
Mhm.
these skills synergizing, and I'm yeah,
Mhm.
October can't get here quick enough.
It's kind of cool, right? It's like watching everything come together from each showcase.
Yeah.
I really like it. So Viral has a hot take. He says, "Hot take: that music was added in post." I ain't gonna lie, Viral. I think it was. I think it was. I'm like the because of the time that it started, and I think it was like before the actual battle started. I'll have to go rewatch, but I think it was added in post. I'll have to rewatch. I kind of want to find out right now, but we'll see. Trash mob shouldn't be too hard to kill. Yeah, you don't want it too hard. Trent says the same thing. HD says, "Why would they make all these custom assets and animations for a scam game?" Yeah, they're trying too hard to convince us, huh? HD.
This is the least profitable scam I've ever seen. Like I just
Very.
Steven's in the hole 40 plus million so far. Like what are they doing with the scam game?
Spiny says, "I wonder if people will be bringing spotters to their PVE raids to reveal hidden opponents that might be lurking to get easy kills and stuff. That would be pretty dope." Yeah, have some mages or whoever that can reveal rogues out of stealth. Have some rangers, just people kind of posted up, maybe a high point of ground or just patrolling the outer edges of the fight, trying to make sure that they're not getting ambushed. And the reason to do that is, okay, maybe if you reveal a whole Zerg just sitting there in stealth, is to at least be able to call out to your teammate, like, "Hey, stop focusing on that boss. We got action here."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, even the tank that's supposed to be keeping, if it's like so many people, your tank holding tanking the world boss is probably not even needed. Or maybe you can have the tank. If you think you're gonna win that fight, you have the tank bring the boss to a corner of the room or whatever. But honestly, you could use your tank to pull the boss towards the enemies and like mess them up and make them grab threats. So there's a lot of fun things that can happen with that. But yeah, I think spotters will be very important depending on the fight and depending on how many people you have, how open world it is. Have you seen anybody recently? It'll be the safe way to go, especially depending on how far away they got your respawn in this game.
Mm-hmm.
These mobs are only level 25. We got to see how the gameplay is at cap. Facts.
Yeah,
I don't think a pug group should be able to do this dragon. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I saw a few people in Discord talk about the dragon's overall size. And as I figured I'd bring it up on what other people thought. I can see it both ways. I can see people wanting like a larger, more epic dragon, but then at the same time, I'm like, well, it's a level 25, So and at some point, like a huge dragon just
Yeah.
gets in the way more than anything. But I could go either way on it. I just wanted to see what the voices of Verra thought about the overall size of the dragon, or if you even care.
Yeah, what do you guys think about the size of the dragon? I think they said something with the lore, like this is a. I don't think they said a young dragon because, like I said, I've only watched this showcase once. But I
Yeah.
could have sworn they said he's like trying to prove himself, and so like I interpreted that. It's not what they said, but I interpreted it as like maybe he's a younger dragon, maybe he gets bigger, maybe there's bigger dragons. But yeah, I'm with you. I think there might be bigger ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're kind of spot on there where it's a level 25, so maybe they save those even bigger dragons for later content, and maybe that a dragon around a metropolis because the surrounding content levels up with nodes. So with that being said, maybe you want to find a metro dragon, and that thing is going to be huge. Oh, they did say it was young. Okay, cool, Dresh.
Yeah.
They said they're bigger ones. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
People hurt from past games, definitely.
I think that makes sense. I wouldn't show like the big like people are worried about in the alphas and betas that they might show too much. So yeah, maybe don't show the biggest, most badass dragon you're gonna have in the game. So yeah, I get it.
Hmm. Here, let me bring up my monitor. There we go. Dude, you know what is disappointing? I wish Steven, well, I guess Steven kind of had to be on res duty. It makes the most sense archetype wise to be on res duty as the cleric. If he's gonna like have god mode, that is.
Sure.
I think it just makes sense to be on the cleric if you're gonna be god mode. That way you can at least be helping with reses and stuff. Um, but I want to see the tank, dude. I want to see more tank POV. I want to see
Oh,
the
let's see some
tank skill tree.
dwarves.
What does it look like right now?
I bet
Oh
Thogley's
no.
just pounding his desk over there. Like, come on, more dwarf stuff, please.
Yeah. There were dwarves in the showcase, right? And so, matter of fact, here, let me go back. There was dwarves in the showcase. So I'm wondering, like, are the PI right now able to play with the Dunir, but they're just not going to be able to use it during Alpha 2 once it drops? Is that the case, chat? Let me go look to where he runs up
Yeah,
to
there
the
were there
group.
were two dwarven tanks in this. So it started off as a
Oh,
dwarven tank, and then they switched to another tank for the dragon.
okay. So I'm at the timestamp 2511, and
Okay.
it looks like only the GMs are dwarves.
Oh, shame.
Or there's just one. Is it just the one? Oh, it's just the one. Brian, the GM. Yeah. No. There's a second one there. Yeah, it's just the GMs, chat. It's just the GMs that choose to be a dwarf. But yeah, I want to say it's two of them. The two dwarves are tanks, and they're both GMs, right? Yeah,
I
both
think so.
devs
Yeah.
exactly. So dang, so the PI don't even have access to the dwarf in theory right now. Interesting. Would have loved Bucky to be the primary cam. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, we've seen enough cleric, right? We've seen enough cleric. I
I
would
want to
love
see
to
more
see
bard.
Steven as the tank or the bard. The bard would be because we've seen literally the least of the bard, right? So
Yeah.
I think this would have been a good time, and I don't think Steven played the bard that bad. So I don't know, and it's less pressure being a bard over a cleric, right? Steven takes a break to take screenshots, and people die. Bard, yes, it's important, like, but maybe you can get away with it a little bit easier. Keeping tight grips on the good stuff. Sure, let's go with that. But there is something kind of funny about a dwarf tank, though. It really is. Dwarf rogue too, but yeah. Look how big the shield is for them. Oh man. But yeah, overall, the fight looked good. I don't really have much feedback. What I need to watch, because I was paying a lot of attention during the dragon fight. I need to watch the Citadel, I need to rewatch that stuff. Like I was watching it, but it was more like, I want to see the dragon. But yeah.
Yeah. Somebody over here, Grabba the Butt. Like that. That's a good name. He says Bucky was working overtime to keep people bubbled. I'm not gonna lie. If there's no rogue for the start of Alpha 2, which things can still change, of course. Come on, Steven, make it happen. I think I'm starting off with a bard. Nice, like I really do.
Oh.
It looks so good, man. Like I'm gonna sit there. I'll probably do a poll during the live stream to see what people say, fighter or bard. But bard looks so sick.
True. I would love a bard. I would love a
I
bard.
know. I know. I'm not
Oh,
gonna be as
you know
good as
what?
Bucky.
Honestly, though, think about it though. If you are a bard and I'm a tank, we're gonna be able to find groups easily.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that's two of the three important roles right there, because you DPS don't matter. Tatamo says, as a bard main, I don't appreciate you undermining out importance compared to clerics. I'm just saying, if you're gonna only have one, being able to heal people in burst is more important to survivability, not overall important, if that makes you feel better. Eclectic says, especially with how small these dwarves are, usually expect them to come up to human chest. Oh, you think do you guys think the dwarves are too small? I
They
think
were
I,
they
I
were
don't I don't
short.
think they're too small, but I would understand them getting bigger. I would understand people's feedback if they said, okay, just give us a little bit more, because Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Enjoy your armor dyed in red. Yeah, fighter's gonna be ridiculous in PvP, man. Like, fighter tank sounds so good. That might end up being what I like more, compared to tank fighter, because that seems like more of the balance that I'm looking for when it comes to damage versus tankiness, to be honest. We shall see. Dwarf rogue is gonna be rough. Yeah, how you find that? It's stylistic, they are good like they are, but it's a break from most other forms of fantasy. Fighter Giga Chads, yeah. Hmm,
Ooh, this is a good
but
question.
yeah.
I got a
Mhm.
question for you, Nice. Okay, for with what we've seen so far. This is going off of Grab of the Butts post here. He says it's going to take a while to be a good bard. It's going to have a high skill cap, which I agree with. But
Yeah.
what do you guys think out of the archetypes we've seen so far? Which archetype do you think has the current highest skill cap in the game?
Ooh.
I mean, obviously, we're all talking out of our ass, except for like the Alpha One people. But with what you've seen, what do you think it is? Because I think it's Bard or Fighter. I think they're both right up there.
Imma say Bard. Imma say Bard for sure. Imma say Bard. That Bard, especially for someone that wasn't excited to see Bard at all or didn't have high hopes, and honestly, to be honest with you guys, thought Bard was kinda geeky. Like, I was like, "Why do I wanna do that? Why do I wanna go around playing the flute?" But they made that Bard look so cool, so sick. The style, the whole swagger to it, I really love the Bard, but the skills and, like, knowing weaving your songs and all that, I think the Bard is gonna be, a I think it's gonna have the high skill gap. I think when you have a bad bard in your party, you're gonna notice. Probably even more so if than having a bad cleric that at least is hitting his skills on cooldown and having
Mm-hmm.
a decent amount of sustain. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say bard. I'm gonna say bard.
Okay. I got a Arctic says Fighter.
Hmm.
What's the lowest? Well, let's start fights with people.
Oh,
What's the lowest skill gap?
yeah. Mage.
You think so? Okay. Yeah, it's up there for me. I think it's Major Cleric.
Yeah. Two people said mage that quick.
Arctic said Mage. Yeah.
DQD says cleric. Someone said mage is up there. Tank honestly seems super rough in PvP. Zoning players with walls and CC will have a high ceiling. That is true.
Yep.
Especially in a large scale PvP skirmish, placing that tank wall right, knowing when to mitigate, maybe knowing that you're so low health, you probably should worry about yourself. Like, I think the tank in PvX and PvP environments specifically, it's gonna definitely have a high skill gap, dude. I'm just overthinking like the possibilities with that tank wall. Like, I just I'm like even using ESO brain, running in a resource tower, and
Yeah.
you're low health. I'm behind you, and instead of just body blocking, I can turn around. Like, say we just ran through an entrance to a room or a door, I can turn around, place a wall on that door while
Yep.
we recover and heal up and stuff like that. Literally a portable line of sight, like this is freaking Fortnite. Like that's gonna be so cool.
And if I'm on a Bard with what 40% move speed, like we're
Oh
we're we're
yeah,
booking, dude. Like you slow them down, I speed us up, we're
true.
we're gone.
Mm.
Recover, come
Tank
back.
will be correct. Oh, see, Kai went the opposite. He said, "I think Mage will be the highest and Bard will be the lowest based off past experiences." Interesting. Were your past experiences in the current spot test? Not playing. Oh, low skill gap in Arcade, the Bard was okay. I will say, it will become a low skill gap, kinda, if they keep the Bard's dance song range. Like, those ranges are ridiculous. I know Steven said they're gonna tone it down because he even said it during the Bard showcase, like, wow, that goes pretty far. And then they was like, they're gonna adjust it or whatever. But like, you don't even got to be close. I like seeing who was it, Bucky, going around the battlefield, like just putting that shield dance on everybody. Like, he was sliding through. Like, that was really sick. And I want proximity to matter. I don't think it should be like, oh, you got to be right up on them, because I mean, you're playing a song. It should have a decent radius, right? But
Yeah.
I just think right now it's like really, really far. But I think once you do that, you make position and matter. Once you make position and matter with the Bard, you really up that ceiling.
I agree with you. I do agree with you there.
the brazers bother you. He's talking about the brazers, like the little lantern things at the beginning of the stream. I can see that. The armor looks sick. The shield looks sick. I like it.
Dude,
As far as
I
the
love
character
the
go.
shield. The shield
Hmm.
was so good.
What spot tests? We know nothing. We know nothing. Spot tests don't exist.
Yeah,
I
we're
like how
Alpha 2
Steven's the only
guys.
one that breaks NDA.
Yeah.
As far as like on stream, he's like, "Yeah, we had spot tests. Oh, we got spot tests tomorrow. We got spot tests today." Oh, it's burning too quickly. I get that. Hmm. So also, here's something to note. They did lift the NDA on this showcase, so PI that were in this showcase can't actually talk about their experience in this showcase. Um, we did originally have DA, who is a PI, but he had to back out last second. So yeah. So be on the lookout for a lot of spills from the community as far as like what their experiences was, what did they think about the fight, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
Can't spill the beans, yeah. But I kind of want to here. What do you guys think about the how do I word this? I don't want to say time to kill.
Say it.
What did you guys think about the time? Well, how do I
Say
what
it.
do you guys think about how long the fight took? What do you guys think about how long that world boss fight took with 40 people? I know I kind of said my take already. You don't have to say you don't have to say what I think, but yeah. You like the length of the fight? Mob time to kill needs to drop. Yeah, so here, let me do that. Let me pull up the stream. And I want to watch where is it at? I want to watch the fight in the actual Citadel cuz I didn't watch much of that. I did see one part where I don't think it was a Cyclops, but it was some bulky creature, but they spent a while. I think it was a 3-star. I could be wrong. But they spent a while on one of these little I wouldn't even call it a boss, obviously, but little sub elites, if you will. But the Dragon Raid boss fight, what do you guys think about that time to kill? The world boss is fine as it allows for PvP to come in. Yeah.
I I will say with like my concern, and you guys, Nice Gaming did a whole video on this. This is a chance for you to peddle your video, Nice. But he did an entire video on boss fights in other MMORPGs. And the biggest issue other MMORPGs face that I completely agree with Nice on is oftentimes during these big world events, people just zerg it down, and it's not fun and it's not exciting. It's very
Mhm.
unenjoyable. Like you go there, you get a couple hits in, you get a loot, and then you move on, you get a loot drop, then you move on. Right. This boss fight, it with 40 people looked meaningful. Like it looked hard, it looked challenging. They had a huge loot table to go through and everything, and like other people said, it left enough time for other people to show up and participate if they want to, whether they work with you or against you. Like all that, giving people time to coordinate, communicate, fight each other, those sorts of things, I think is important. So I liked the duration for it.
Okay. I did too. Like someone said, I like that, it gives time for PvP, PvX to happen. It was still challenging to where we couldn't zerg down the world boss and just have an easy time simply because we brought more people. But what I'm going to pay attention to now, and it starts at 14-minute mark even. It's where they fight that golem. And so now let's try to focus on the time to kill for this. I'm gonna just call it an elite chat, this 3-star here, known as Usul. And let's see how long it takes. They started, hold on, let me double check. I'm pretty sure it was like 14 even. Yeah, it was like 14 even when they started. So we'll use that as our timer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in group fighting this 3-star boss, and it started at the 14-minute marker. Let's see how long it takes while we discuss. Muscle said, kill time was good. I did not like the rezzing allows for Zergan bosses. Yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about. So one thing to keep in mind, Steven was on God mode, so you won't be able to spam reses. You're gonna need a lot of clerics in group if you want to do stuff like that. Um, so we were going back. I seen different takes in Discord. I think the res should have a decently like that skill seems something very powerful because it's not like other games where everyone can like res their friend and get their friend up. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
this is only something the cleric can do for the most part, right? So that being said, I feel like that ability, one, it should have a huge mana cost. And two, I think it should have a decently long cooldown to not like kind of trivialize the meaning of death in these interactions. I said 10 minutes initially, but okay, I admit I was being hyperbolic. I don't really think it should be 10 minutes, but would you guys think 3 minutes, 5 minutes? I've been playing some World of Warcraft and it's crazy to me because I've never seen 3 minute cooldowns on skills. Like it's crazy. So do you guys think 3 minutes, 5 minutes? What is the ideal time? This would make a good poll actually. How long do you think the cooldown should be on a battle res? Okay, did they just now kill the boss? So that was about a minute and a half. Yeah, about a minute and a half that elite took. That's actually insane. But someone said, like, make it more threatening. Make it more threatening. Mio said, add another phase to the dragon fight. A 30-minute cooldown? I thought I was being crazy with 10. People thought I was being crazy with 10.
You should make it instant like ESO.
Ugh.
I'm just kidding. You remember that? I don't know if you had this on PlayStation, but there were people that made revive builds, and all they did was be a tank and revive people.
Dude, I made a revive build. I posted one.
Oh my god!
I had the Kaganax Hope buff, the Templar buff, the support buff, the CP for res speed, and it was just mean. It was just mean. Yeah, it's so ugh. And I don't know, but maybe that was back when immovable pots kept it so that people couldn't bash your res. That's just gross stuff. That shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. Needs a cooldown in raids.
Bash already doesn't work well, and then you have a cooldown to where you have no chance with a pot. That's fucking.
10-minute cooldown. World of Warcraft has theirs on a 10-minute cooldown. Interesting. Resurrect on cleric costs 250 mana right now. Yeah, see, that's not enough to me. I'm looking at Steven right now, and dude's pushing way over 4K mana at level 20. So people will res Zerg trust. Yeah, like I think that's the issue. Like if there's even just 5 clerics, I mean that's people that can that's 5 people that can res. So even if it's a long cooldown, if you got a couple of clerics in group, you can maintain a fight. You'll never wipe.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a long cooldown, chat. I think the minimal we should start talking is 3 minutes. I think 1 minute is not meaningful enough. I think 1 minute and it's just not meaningful enough personally. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it during the commission stream, but I want to see what the cooldown was when they used it back then. I'm gonna do that right now. I want to do that right now. Ashes of Creation. I know it's probably on the wiki already, but I like finding this stuff myself. None of this stuff is commission stream. What? What? Did I pass it already, chat? Was that not the name of it? There it is. Oh, I did pass it. And I remember they showed it at the part with the lightning and the minotaurs and whatnot. Let's see. Wonder, what do you guys think? How long should it be? 80% mana drain. Yeah, it needs. I would like it to be both. But if you're not gonna have it 10 minutes, 5 minutes plus, then yeah, just make it cost a lot of mana, 2-3 minute cooldown. I'll be fine with that. Build a resource that lower resurrection skill. Remember, there will probably be PvP, so it'll be harder to res than you think. Plus, they struggled without conflict. Very true. Like, how many times would Steven have died mid-res if he was in God mode? Like, there was times the dragon literally hit him as he was resing. So
he was standing in fire a few times. Like, I think the whole group wipes if he's not in God mode for sure.
But yeah, I think even the cast time is a thing. Like, yeah, in PvP. But if there's another cleric killing them, then okay, it wasn't. We don't get to see the cleric POV when they cast the resurrection here. Never mind. Somebody resurrected him. Well, that sucks. How many people would have not died if he was healing, though? Very true.
I think I said
Why
that in
that like,
Discord.
why was he the cleric? That's a like, why
Yeah.
was he the cleric? I get okay, maybe not make him the tank. You got 2 good GMs that's tanks. Tanking is very important during that interaction, so maybe not make Steven the tank. No offense to Steven. But, like, he couldn't be a ranger, a fighter, you know? Like, why make him the cleric if he's not gonna be able to heal because he wants to prioritize? I don't know, like I said, maybe it was the right decision, but maybe, supplement that by adding another cleric because he's not gonna be on heal duty, he's just on res duty, which is being reactive, not proactive or preventative. Level determined cooldown? I don't know. Yeah, the auto res bot with god mode, yeah, true, 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 true. Hmm. I don't know, but overall, I had no expectations for this stream. And so maybe I was easy to please, but I thought the stream was all right. I think we're all giving it. I haven't seen no one say 10 out of 10. I haven't watched no content creator takes or videos on what they thought about it, but I think everyone was like, at least thought the stream was good, or if not average. I can't imagine too many people saying it was just plain old bad. Unless they're
Yeah.
talking about visual stuff. And I mean, this is a work in progress, right, guys? Like, so we know a lot of that stuff gets cleaned up later, or it gets cleaned up right before launch, or whatever the case may be. So I'm trying not to put too much stock into the visuals. So, but
Yeah.
I think as far as seeing the mechanics and what they had going on, I think most people are in the at least a 7 to 8 range. Well, 6 to 8 range, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, for me it comes down to like what I'm looking at, and I'm not an expert, guys. Like I'm just a guy watching it like you guys are. But what I look at, like the graphical fidelity is the last thing I care about. That can be done last,
Mhm.
in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
collisions, the weapon collisions with the enemies needs to be good. Like that stuff needs to be good. The characters need to be reactive, and overall, like just the environment needs to look good. Like those are the things I'm mostly looking at itself. And so as far as like, yeah, this could be like a little bit more in depth. Yeah, it can, and it probably will be later. So
Hey, how you doing, Fox? It can't be too long on the res cooldown because Ashes is probably going to mirror the games that it's based on, exiting combat and normal resin with spells and possibly scrolls during the fight. I haven't seen anything about like too many different ways to res. Exiting combat and normal resin with spells. Yeah. I want to say this is one of the few methods of resurrected right now, unless you just respawn at like, the last way shrine or whatever you want to call it, last node you visited, however they do it.
mm,
For an Alpha 2, it looks great indeed. This looks really good. Do keep in mind, they do upscale these things for showcases. They do upscale these things for showcases is all I can say. But what we've seen and what it looks like we're going to be getting on October 25th, this is visually stunning. Like I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I'm sorry, this game looks just good. It looks to me like if I was to design an MMO, this is what I would go for. It's it's a blend of I've said this before, but like stylized and realism. Like if you were to take and chat, I don't really mean this like apples to apples or it's like the exact comparison, but take New World and cross it with WoW or Guild Wars 2, and you meet in the middle. So let's say WoW is the most stylized, cartoon looking thing, right? And then New World is the most, as far as MMOs go, trying to look realistic. They want a realistic looking environment, all that. And then you compromise and you met in the middle. That's the kind of art style. In terms of art style, I think that's where you see Ashes of Creation, where it's like fantasy meets a little bit of realism here and there. But yeah.
sure.
Where's your channel redemption for Change My Mind? Oh, I thought I had it on there. I'm redoing all my channel points because I suck at Twitch and I don't know what I'm doing. We tried it last stream. I had a couple things I was setting up for channel points. I spent like a good hour and a half doing it, and then I started streaming. None of them worked. It's Arcade 2, let's be real. It was a big inspiration. For those who got the lifetime subscription pack from Kickstarter is lucky. Yeah, because I think this game is going to be around for a while. If they do things right, this is going to be the next MMO. It don't have to replace WoW or anything like that, like I've said, but I think this is going to be the next MMO, man. I really do. And I think the competition is like constantly shooting themselves in the foot. You got
Oh yeah.
Amazon Game Studios. They just canceled the Blue Protocol, which they were publishing, and now they've delayed Throne of Liberty so many times that it's now October 1st. And then you got they're publishing Throne of Liberty finally for us in the West on October 1st, and then you got New World 2 weeks later. Like, why would you literally publish your competition? I mean, within your own company, it doesn't make sense. And I
Yeah.
think Throne of Liberty is coming to console as well. So it's like you had something good going where the console market was thirsting for something, and then you just give them two MMOs that quick.
Yep.
The graphics is nowhere near RuneScape era or Guild Wars 1. Is it? I don't know. Graphics or art though. It's tough to really uh I think it looks good, man. I think it looks
I think
good.
it looks good. I don't
PlayStation
think
3 to 4 era? That's crazy.
I don't think it looks good all the time, obviously, because it's pre-alpha and you can tell sometimes that like things aren't fully polished, but the stuff that they have polished pretty well, like when we got to go into the node and we got to see like the node and everything.
Mhm.
Some of the caravan stuff, like the opening scene for this, I thought looked really good as well. And it's yeah, I think it's on its way for sure.
Facts. Um, Someone says, do you think Throne will take some of ESO's player base? Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like Fox just said, console doesn't have many MMOs at all. So like I mean, they've been thirsting for a new MMO, and now they're about to get two within 2 weeks. Like, what is that about? Well, I don't know if Throne of Liberty's console launch is the same as their global launch. I don't know. I'm just assuming, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so console has two nice things going for them. Throne and Liberty is free, and they haven't had
Mm.
a new MMORPG on console in a long time. And so a bunch of people are going to try it. I don't know how well they're going to retain players because like I played the Korean version. Nice played the Korean version of Throne and Liberty. There's some issues with pay to win that I think are going to deter players, but Throne and Liberty on a large scale works. It works
Yeah.
really well. And so if you like the large scale PvP of ESO, if you like the large scale PvP that like BDO has and you're just annoyed with the performance, I think a lot of people are going to initially enjoy Throne and Liberty for that reason. Now, how long they stay before they go back, that's up to Throne and Liberty and the changes they make before October. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's something they've nailed down is large scale sieges. Like performance is amazing. And Unreal Engine 4, by the way.
Yeah. It looks good.
That's crazy. That is ridiculous. That is an accomplishment because performance is probably the most important thing in a large scale MMO. But the thing is, Throne of Liberty is UE4 MMO.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it looks so good and performs so well, yeah. Lighting situation or your exposure. Okay. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, it is a little bright. There we go. TL, yeah, TNL it failed even in Korea. Even in Korea. So
Yeah.
if that's it, and it was designed for Korea, like that pay to win and all that stuff didn't even work there. So the fact that that is something I never talked about, but I am actually genuinely surprised they didn't try to change their monetization model. Could they have gotten away with like a $40 box price in the West or a subscription?
I don't know.
TNL's dead on arrival. Anyone could see that. I think it'll distract people for a month. I think it'll distract people for a month. I don't know. It has potential. I like the combat. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but in terms of like the little bit of tab targets games that I played, I liked it. But everything around it, I mean, can you ignore that much pay to win once you start like getting to end game and enjoying the game? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone for sure. Am I gonna try it? It's free.
It's free.
And the thing is, when I thought Ashes was gonna still hit quarter 3, I was like, Dawn of Liberty releases so close to Ashes, even at the last date of quarter 3. I'm probably not gonna try it, but now, we're gonna get it like earlier that month. Let's see, Ashes is October 25th. Dawn of Liberty is October 1st, and then I want to be warming up because I think their combat's decently similar, so maybe I'll jump into it.
Yep.
Am I gonna main it? Am I looking forward to it? Am I counting the days? No, I don't think no one is. I don't think
Yeah.
no one is.
I'm gonna play it because it's free, and I'm gonna try it out and see everything, and you know, hopefully they make some good changes. But I'm pretty confident in saying that I don't think the game is gonna hook me so much that I'm willing to invest in pay to win for it. And so for that, for
Yeah.
me, it's gonna have a shelf life. Like it does. The combat would have to be. I thought the combat was fine. I actually enjoyed some of the collisions and everything and all that. Like I thought it felt pretty good, except for your standing in place. But it has to be a little bit. It has to have a little bit more depth to it for me, in my opinion, for me to want to like pay for it.
Yeah, man. I don't see me. I'm not putting $1 into that game. Like I'm with you. Like you said it right. I don't see me getting so hooked on that game. I feel the need to. I think you gotta to pay. I think you gotta be really looking forward to Throne of Liberty to start dropping money on it.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be like that's gonna be the next MMO for you. And the thing is, I don't think that's that for me. Do you think Ashes Alpha 2 Phase 1 is an older build of the game? I don't think so. I think they're gonna give us what they can. Um, Whether or not you think the current spot testing is a different build is another question, but I don't think we would get an older build. I don't think they. I don't think that would make much sense for them to do that outside of like spot testing, if that.
I yeah.
Huh.
I think if they release the NDA for Alpha 2 and what people get for Alpha 2 doesn't look like what they've been showcasing, I think that would look really bad. I think that would look really bad for the overall community as a whole. So hopefully they
Yeah,
don't.
that's the thing. That's a very good point. So let's say the spot testing doesn't have good visuals right now, but we're seeing this showcase which looks gorgeous, or if this test that we're watching right now is on a whole different client than what they're
Yeah.
usually playing on. If come Alpha 2, October 25th, we get our hands on a game and we go to this area right here, and that grass doesn't look like that. This environment doesn't look like that. These characters don't look like that. That would be a problem. That would be deceptive because the thing is, we're prepared for a rough alpha, buggy, ugly environment, right, chat? Like we're ready. We
Yep.
got the expectations subverted. But we're expecting at minimal what you've shown us, and that's where I think it would become an issue as far as that goes. But
Yep.
as long as we get at bare minimum what we're seeing, I think we're fine, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and if it is the case where they're behind and like things aren't rendered properly, it's not a deal breaker for me personally. But at the same time, if they don't get out ahead of it and they don't say like, "Hey guys, like, we're working on server stability, like we haven't fully rendered everything, like things aren't going to look great for the first 1, 2, 3 months, whatever, however long it is." If they don't notify people and people go into it thinking like, "Hey, what I'm seeing on the live stream is what I'm testing," and it's not that way,
Mhm.
it's gonna, like, a lot of people watch the live streams. They're expecting to see what the live stream is.
Yeah, this is what they bought. This is why they bought. This is all they
Yeah.
bought based on. DQD says, "I don't care about the graphics right now." I don't care about the graphics in a sense that, because I mean, graphics is bare minimum. I'm not even expecting crazy graphics for an Alpha 2. What I am expecting is what I've seen. But as a caveat, like El said, if they tell us before October 25th or before Alpha 2, like, hey, what you seeing on screen, we have currently, because of some UE5 bugs that we're currently working out, your game may not have this much detail, fidelity, this good as this visuals until phase 2 because we're working on so and so. I don't know how
Yes.
people would respond to that because I could just imagine larger content creators eating that up, like as a not a bait and switch, but like, oh, you deceived us. I bought my key because I thought the game looked like this. But I
Exactly.
mean, at the end of the day, it's a test. So there's a fine line there, right? And I hate to like both sides this, but there's a fine line and they gotta tread carefully. But yeah, from what I'm seeing on these showcases, things look amazing. Really good. There should be a permanent giant. This is an alpha test subject to change in the corner of every streamer's HUD. Dude, I joked about it before Ecclesia, but I literally said I'm gonna say this is a work in progress. It's gonna be like I'm gonna have it transparent and it's just gonna be in the corner of the screen. Cause yeah, if that is the case, like we were talking about, if that is the case, then I don't know how people are gonna feel. Frisk says, L take, it's 2024. Look at TNL, insane graphics and performance. If a game looks like a tech demo, then that's all it is. We shouldn't settle. Did I say that? Or I don't
Yeah.
know. But like I
What
think there's
is that? What we said?
that's what he said.
Okay.
It's the thing is he said you can't show up to a F1 race in a Honda Civic. So here's the thing, Frisk or Freeze. This is an alpha build. Everything's not going to be polished. It's not going to be visually stunning. Just
All
because
the
Throne
time.
of Liberty released in UE4 and it looks perfect, I don't expect every area of the world to be optimized and everything like that. Now, am I expecting this fight right here to look as good as what I'm seeing right now? Oh, okay. He said he's responded to someone in chat, not us.
Oh,
But yeah,
I was
I think,
confused. I was like, I thought that's what we said. I was
but
confused.
like, I think that's I think that's where our expectations should be, right? I think that's where our expectations should be, at least what we see.
Yeah. Yeah, and so briefly touching on it because we don't have to touch on it anymore. I we talked about it the last live stream how they responded to the complaints about the Alpha 2 keys, how they quickly changed it. I thought was great. We talked about that last week. How Steven addressed like the communication from the from the Q&A, I thought was also good. Like literally coming out and saying like, yeah, you know, some of the stuff is not easy to talk about, like talking about the financials and everything. It's like, yeah, you're supporting the game. And like I saw a bunch of people in chat at the time watching on Twitch and they're like, yeah, that's all you needed to say. Like that's all you need to say. That's fine by us. And so as long as they keep open dialogue, I mean, they're doing open development, they're listening to feedback, they're providing they're actually providing changes to the game that people in the community want. Like all this stuff's really good as long as they're upfront and open with what happens. Like if they came out like this is how much I trust Intrepid right now. If they came out and they're like, hey guys, like UE5 has been really messed up. We're having issues the first 2 weeks of tests in October. We're going to have battle bit stick characters. If they told me in advance that we're going to have stick characters, I'd be like, okay. I mean, you let us know in advance. I know what the expectations are. I know what the expectations are. I'm okay with it. But
No, I draw the line there, else.
that's my opinion. As long as you tell me in advance, like I purchased it into play Alpha 2. I didn't purchase it into play Alpha 2 in Q4 of 2024. Like whenever it happens, it happens. If things happen, I'm fine with it. Just let us know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Set expectations, which I think they did a good job with that roadmap. We now have expectations. Everything's not going to meet its deadline, but we at least know what their intent and their plan is, and we have our expectations. But yeah, the chat's going off about how the game should look. Comparing a finished product such as Throne of Liberty to a game still in development like Ashes is flawed thinking. Then they responded saying, "Did you see Throne of Liberty Alpha? Still looked good. Combat was crap. They instantly changed it a few months, and it's not bad. It's just missing content." Yeah, Throne of Liberty looked really good, dude. I hit the
Yeah.
UI. I went up to this very high space. I still say, and I said it. I did a review of Throne of Liberty, and I said it in my video, but I've not played an MMO with the amount of render distance, like clear render distance, than Throne of Liberty did, and in UE4, like it looked really good.
Yep.
Fox says, in my opinion, animations are just as important. Game has to feel smooth, not janky. And that reminds me, Fox. They kind of touched on it in today's stream, saying that each like race has different animations for wielding that weapon, essentially, and that's like another thing that's taken so long. And Margaret's like, you know, people have been asking like, hey, why is there only 2 or 3 races? And they're rigging up those animations. We've also been told like making sure each of their armor, you know, that suit that it's able to be worn and stuff like that. So yeah. Make it very clear. Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, graphics don't make an MMO.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they absolutely don't. World of Warcraft's
But
proven that by now.
yeah. Dude, I've been but yeah, it's 2024, so there's a limit. Facts. I've been playing retail WoW. You guys might see me start streaming some WoW. Not like, I don't know, it's just I think that's what's gonna buy my time until Alpha 2. Playing some WoW. I'm enjoying. I'm just leveling up. Um and this could be a random tangent we can like use to kind of close out stream, or like kind of just start a tangent. But how do you guys feel about level boost? So I bought World of Warcraft,
Oh
and
no.
it came with a level boost. It came with a level boost. Would you guys use that? And now here's my thing. I'm able to use this level boost having never played World of Warcraft. See, the way I've always thought level boost should work, if they're allowed in a game, is that you can at least get to max level on one character, and then they're like, "All right, you've played the game. You don't want to repeat the story again. Just go ahead and boost this next one up because you already did all this." And maybe they don't care that much in their game. Um,
So
but I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
So I just have to say this. I'm sorry. We have to all be on the same page as a community, guys. If you if you guys have been in the Voices of Verra Discord, if you've been in the Ashes Discords, you know that people like to, like, every time somebody's brings up WoW, they're like, oh boy, look, another WoW brain guy wanting, there's a big stereotype around World of Warcraft, and it's highly amusing. I am so looking forward to Nice's World of Warcraft evolution, to the point where, like, he's playing it right now and he's like, hey guys, I kind of like this system. I kind of like the system. And then in like 4 months from now, Nice is going to be in here telling us about how we should have PvE servers. It's going to be so great.
Yes.
I'm so
It works
looking
on
forward
WoW.
to it.
It works on WoW.
Works on WoW.
WoW even has RP servers. Why isn't Ashes of Creation doing that? And personally, I think there's too much action combat.
There's too much
action combat in Ashes. Exactly.
Oh my god. It's
Not enough roleplay servers in Ashes of Creation. I don't like it. My feedback has changed. Deplorable. Level boost is only okay in a theme park game. For an older game that has been out for a long time, go ahead. Good and bad. I hate the idea of level boosts outside of testing setting. Learn your character, walk the journey. Yeah, that's my thing. I don't want to ruin, because maybe I'll do a review of World of Warcraft as far as a new player experience review goes. And I don't want to rush that level. I want to know what that experience is like. This game has been out for 20 years. I've played Elder Scrolls Online since launch, and that's only been out for a decade. Only a decade, but still. In that decade, it's amassed a huge amount of content. The amount of zones and quests in those zones, the overland content, dungeons, trials, classes, all that stuff, storylines, it's insane. And that's could be overwhelming to a new player. Now, imagine how much content there is for me to do as a new player in a 20-year-old MMO, right? And I'm probably still, the way the leveling journey is right now, I'm probably still not going to see all these areas. I missed so much that maybe I don't even have to go through these areas. Like right now, I'm only level 20, guys. And I'm currently doing Dragonflight. That's like where my story's taking me right now. And Dragonflight, I'm pretty sure, was the most recent expansion before this current one, which is the War Within. Now, how many expansions has World of Warcraft had over its 2 decades, right? So, is there some zones I'm just never going to be able to experience the way you guys experience? Is there some quests I'm just really not going to do? Is some things I'm just going to out level? There's a lot of stuff that comes with that, and the reason I bring this up is not to directly tie to Ashes of Creation. I was just curious on what you guys thought, because I'm pretty sure Ashes of Creation would never sell level boosts. Steven's kind of very against that, but I'm just curious on how that looks to you guys and the MMO community just overall. You think level boosting in AOC would also be a bad idea due to that it's not designed with alts in mind, not prohibited, but yeah. Spam quest, dungeons, BGs, so you max 2 characters back then. Nice. Your tavern will only sell black market goods. Only reason people want RP servers and Ashes is to avoid XX your mama's daddy 69 XX names.
And the dwarves.
Oh man. Man, there's gonna be more dwarves than anybody on the RP servers. I can't be bothered to waste my time. They should let me buy gold. Oh, Grux, speaking of that, dude, do you know I found Ashes of Creation gold buying sites yesterday? They already got it ready. Yep, I looked it up on stream last night. If you Google Ashes of Creation gold right now, they are ready and waiting. Do you guys think people will be buying and selling gold during the Alpha 2 test?
Oh my god. Imagine.
No. Is it? I bet they will. You've already pre-ordered your gold? Oh my. Oh, the Burning Crusade, Wrath of Lich King, Cataclysm, Mist of Pandaria, Warlords of oh my, yeah, so there's a lot of expansions. Thank you, dude. Thank you, David. G2G about to be popping. People won't buy until phase 3. Yeah, phase 3 when people feel like there's not gonna be as many wipes after a certain point, I can see people doing it. If people can buy it, they'll buy it. There'll for sure be people buying during alpha, 100K people. They are bound to be gold buyers among them.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah, I
crazy
didn't
for an
start playing
alpha.
WoW. Yeah, for an alpha. Yeah, I never played WoW until this week here. I'm gonna be on it tonight actually.
You're gonna spend $120+ for an alpha for a chance to that for them to test out their RMT like finding and catching. That
Yep.
is a noble sacrifice.
You got to test everything in alpha. This is an
Oh
alpha
my god.
test. You have to test the RMT. You have to. You got to do your part. And then I think Intrepid reimburses you. You send them your RMT receipt, and it's like, oh wow, we actually didn't catch you buying that. Here, and then they refund you. If they don't catch you, they refund you,
Yeah.
and you let them know that there's flaws in their system. Big brain moves, big brain. Wouldn't that be a hell of a guarantee? We'll catch you RMT in. We'll catch every player RMT in or their money back. What the hell? Dog, I better not see no one buying no. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go hard because I'm curious. I'm gonna go to these sites. Most of these sites, they tell you like the gold carrier or this gold seller will tell you how much gold they have or how many sales they've made. Oh, I think they have it by sales made. I mean, I wouldn't know. I've never been on one of those sites, but from what I hear, they they tell you how many times that package has been sold. So if I go to the Alpha 2 website, like a couple of weeks into Alpha 2, I go to the RMT website, excuse me, and it says, 30 out of 30 successful transactions with a high rating for selling Ashes of Creation Gold specifically. I'm going to question everything I thought I knew about gamers. I'm going to nicegoldgaming.com. That's catchy. That's catchy. I need to buy that URL. Dude, everyone hates Blizzard, and that's what I've noticed since I've started playing World of Warcraft. I've always disliked Blizzard from afar.
Yeah.
Because I don't like what they did with the Overwatch 2 situation, even though I don't play Overwatch. I just saw what they did with that, canceling their PvE that they had planned. I've seen them do just recently the way they did their early access expansion. You just should not do that with an MMO. Like people should not get in early before others by paying more. Which brings me to our next tangent.
Oh, great.
How do you
Yes.
feel about the early start for Ashes of Creation? I forgot which tier of Kickstarter gets it, but I think it's Kickstarter. But they get to play on these servers before us because they paid more money. Do you think but here's the catcher, to be fair, and let's use everything in context. Apparently the node system will be offline during this, so they're not like really gonna get a head start on that. But I mean, they're still gonna be able to like pre-scout things. They're gonna be able to like get gold, get materials. Do you guys remember how many days ahead they get? Is it 3 days? And Steven justified it by saying launches of MMOs are typically crap. And their team they advised like it's the best thing that you can do is to like break up that release so it's less stressful on the
Yeah.
servers. Um,
As
yeah.
long as it doesn't interrupt the integrity of like the node racing. Like if you jump into a server and it's like people are already on level 3 working towards level 4 nodes, that's the problem that I would have, right? Overall, I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. Those people that have those things have been long time like supporters, and if they want to get in a little bit earlier to go scout, like, okay, have the small advantage for a couple days. That's fine by me. I'm gonna have the advantage for years, so I'm not worried about it at all. That's how I look at it. What about you?
It just depends on how much like Mio says here, it says like 1,000 gold or more for what node has what resources and what those resources are. Yeah, there's just gonna be they're gonna be privy to a lot more things, and they're gonna probably have a lot more gold from what do you call them, the hunting certificates they turned in and stuff like that. You never know. But yeah, they definitely disable node progression, but I don't know. I'm like indifferent about it, but the reasoning that Steven gave and that it helps them on the networking side. We saw what New World's release. I heard that was bad, like so many people in queue, people crashing, and if it helps avoid that, then whatever. But still, it's different. It's different. But I think disabling the node system is a good step in the right direction, and I think it's fine. And like Viral says, nobody wants to play on those servers anyway. So let's break that down. I hope there's literally just one per server region, and I hope that that server is clearly labeled. How you doing, Fuppa? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. I hope that server is clearly labeled so that when I log in on my normal release date, assuming I don't get to play early, I hope that that server is properly labeled in the sense that,
Yes.
hey, this was an early start server. And to be honest, that stuff isn't really too relevant after what? A week? I think most people probably caught up to those people or even past them, right? So you don't need that label afterwards, unless, depending on how many people have that early start access. Fumble
Yeah.
says, with no nodes able to be leveled and other stuff turned off, to me, the early start is going to be pretty much a non-factor in the end, really. I think we have to see, and I think it's something that they should test because we'll know as we play the game more and more and more systems come online, like how big of an advantage it is. With the node system being offline, I don't think it's going to be a huge thing. But how much gold can I
Yeah.
rack up in that
Accumulate.
day? How many do me and 8 other friends have access? Is that not enough people to do certain content? Take out a world boss and go ahead and get the gear from that world boss ahead of everybody else. But
Yeah.
yeah, Viral says, "How many levels can you earn in 3 days? More levels than people that's not playing is my
Yep.
goal. Let's just say it's even level 20. Would that be fine?"
Yeah, I'm with you with what you said earlier, nice. As long as they label it early start servers and you have the choice to go onto those servers or not, I'm fine with it. Like I
Yeah.
can choose to give to play on a server with where other people have an advantage, or I can choose not to. And I think overall in the grand scheme of things, I think there's going to be a lot of people on day one of this game. I think there's going to be a lot of people. I think there's going to be a lot of spun up servers, and I think there's a lot of choices. And so that's how I'm looking at it. If it didn't have that choice, like if we had to have the head start and people were coming in at level 20, I've started every other MMORPG months, years later than everybody else. I don't see the big deal. Like you're behind a little bit and then you catch up and then you pass everybody if you're good and then everything's fine. Like I don't know. Like I understand where some people are where like the first experience is a big deal, but at the same time like if you're good and you're focused on trying to get good, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
I would say after well, I said a week, but I would maybe even after 3 days, I imagine it doesn't matter. And like chat's saying, a lot of people will avoid those servers anyways. I think that would be the
I will.
case. If I was to get
Yeah.
early, yeah, me too. And I think after 3 days, whatever progress you could have gotten in that, it won't matter in the long run, right? Let's see. Someone said, "Oh, Grux said, I find it super strange that they are selling Alpha Phase 1 for more money when it's way worse than Phase 3. I mean, conceptually, does that not make sense? You're playing earlier, you wouldn't pay more. Like, how do I explain it? Like, just because one phase has more content, that doesn't make it price value more. Like, because you're playing earlier, you're going to be playing that game during phase two. You're going to be playing that game in phase one. So you're essentially getting more play time than someone else would. So that's why it's priced in that sense. But I could also I could kinda yeah, and you also yeah, and that's the thing. You get the keys for the phases, well, your key applies to the phases that come afterwards, so technically you're getting 3 phases, so it's that simple to me. But I imagine most people would do like I would do. I wouldn't wanna, like, I would use that just to test the world, like, start on a server, see the world, I go into the early access, I level, but that's not my plan thing. Because I would wanna join a server that most of my friends are on or, certain guilds are on, and then you got to factor that most people aren't going to want to join your early access server because it was an early access server. So, you know, you just use that as like, oh, I get to play around a little bit before everybody else.
Yep.
Maybe come up with a game plan. Like, oh, bro, as soon as we load into the world, the best ores is over here. I already know what node is going to be the best. And maybe people figure that stuff out in like beta 1, beta 2, right? But yeah.
Nice. I think we should have a little story time. Okay. I think like we can
Mm.
close it out with a little story time. Nice and I both started New World a year after it came out. We started 365 days after it came out, and Nice, Zilla, and Sawman started a week or two before I did. And so I joined the same server they did. I started a little bit later than they did. And so I know firsthand multiple times across multiple different games what it's like being a level 1 level 10 character. And I don't know if you remember this, Nice, but we were trying to kill these high like max level characters, and one dude literally killed me by throwing hatchets at me because I couldn't do any damage. I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember that. I remember it because I was like, okay, well, yeah, this is how this game works. I had no idea, right? And so I totally understand people's perspective. But guess what happened after like 3 months? We caught up, we figured out the game, and we got good, and it didn't matter anymore. And so
Yep.
that's my overall perspective. I totally get like the initial like screwing over a server, like if nodes are online and running and people get a huge head started in like the overall game. I totally get that, but like the leveling experience it's not gonna matter after 3 months. Like it's like I don't see it being that big
Yeah.
of a deal.
Nah. One of my favorite rappers' lines, I'm not gonna say the whole line because it's not relevant, but he pretty much says, he says, "May arrive last, but when it's all said and done, Imma be ahead of them." And that's my mentality. Like, you can get in there early. That doesn't mean you're gonna be better than me in the long run. I'm gonna eventually catch up and or pass you. And
Yep.
like you said, me and you came to New World hella late, and not to like, oh no, I'm gonna toot some horns. Like, I think we became better than a lot of players that were playing New World since launch. Even in the content space, not too many YouTubers were posting outnumbered PvP, 1vx, 2vx, these crazy
1v4s,
fights that
yeah.
me and you got. Like, that's a pretty tough thing to do in that game with the limited healing. And so being able to do that, especially as someone that literally started in Brimstone Sands, like that just goes to show you right there. Like, I'm pretty sure, I mean, a lot of people that I dueled were day one people, vets of
Yep.
the game. And so that goes to show you that that stuff in the long run doesn't have too big of an impact, especially when it comes to things like skill.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I'm not going to name his name, but I remember like there's a lot of people that believe that there's a certain tank on New World that's the best PvP tank in the game. And I remember watching you duel him, and
Well,
there were good fights. They were really good fights.
yeah,
And it's like he had a huge head start. And it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Like you figure out mechanics, you figure this stuff out and you get ahead, and it's not a big deal.
yeah. That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah. Eventually we're all on a level playing field. Hope was fun to see the FIREBRAND. Yeah, did you enjoy it, Fuppo? I saw Fuppo in there. That dragon fight was epic. It really was. It really was. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there, chat. Here, let's see. This was a good talk.
Yeah, it was a good live
Um,
stream.
this was the first one where I don't think I'm gonna cover it in like a video. I just wanted to talk with you guys about it. I think it was just really epic. I wanted to see what the community thought. Um, but yeah, overall, um, I'll say it again. I think it was like a 7 or what, 8 out of 10. 7 out of 10, I think is where I'm gonna settle. Just because it was a POI and I feel like we're gonna see it. What was that incredible noise? Arctic with the sub. Thank you so much. Thank you for gifting the sub to
Nice.
Fuppo.
Thank you so much, Arctic.
Appreciate that, MMO Sky. Thank you, Arctic.
But yeah,
Um,
do you want to do quick announcements for next week, and
oh
maybe
yes.
and maybe an Envious 14 announcement, or no?
Oh yeah. So chat. Big stuff. So how are we gonna hmm. Should we do that right now? Because we got Nephis Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
And I wouldn't want to distract from his thing to do the guild stuff Tuesday.
Yeah, like
So
we could
maybe the week after,
yeah, we could talk about it later, but I think it'd
or
be cool to tell people like this is what we're doing. And we can
yeah. So chat, here's what we're gonna do, or maybe we even end up doing 2 episodes in 1 week. We'll see. Um, but chat, here's Elsa and I have been talking a lot, and what we're gonna do is we are going to have a guild for Alpha 2. This is a bonus information for those of you that stayed here for the whole stream.
yeah, we're way at the
So
end. So if you made it here, you know
yeah,
things.
you earned this information. So we are gonna do a guild. Thank you for subscribing, DQD. Thank you so much. Deso Quad Dub. Thank you. Welcome on in, dude. Um, we are gonna do a guild, and we were workshopping names, but we think the best name to come up with is we settled on Envious 14. I think we're gonna do Envious 14. No connection to Envious, but it's
You're
just
here last
hilarious
week.
because yeah, you guys know the reference, but there's only a 50-person guild cap. And so these large guilds, these large guilds are not going to be able to get all their people, so they're gonna have to do Envious 1, Envious 2, Envious 3, and we're gonna just take 14 from them. But nah, we don't. I don't think we've really technically settled on a name yet. Envious 8, that one's taken, man. Work in progress guild name. Yeah, it is.
Envious 8 is toxic, guys. We're not picking that
Envious
one.
8 stuff. We don't want to be associated with Envious 8. They don't have a
Yeah.
good reputation. They just PK people and zerg them down for no reason.
But yeah, we talked quite a bit about this. We're trying to figure out things because you guys know where we stand on like how we don't know how big of a guild we want when the game goes live. But this isn't the game going live. This is testing stuff, and we're gonna want to test a bunch of things. We're gonna want to test fighting the dragon. We're gonna want to test doing all the other stuff that's gonna exist in Alpha 2. And frankly, we need people. And what better people to have to do that than the community that's been freaking awesome with us for an entire year. And so really looking forward to it. We can all hang out in game as well instead of just in chat, and I think it's gonna be awesome. Like Envious 14 is gonna be going places. So
Indeed. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been muted this whole time. My
I was
bad.
gonna
I don't
say,
know how long I was muted.
I was like, is this how we ended it? Like you just ended it right there, indeed, and then you left.
Man, I've been talking so much, but okay, I forgot. I don't even know at what point. I think I muted when my daughters
said-
came up, and I completely forgot to unmute. What was the last thing I said?
You said indeed.
Okay. Well, we're gonna workshop. Obviously, yes, the name is a work in progress or whatever, but I think what would be cool is behind the scenes, Elsa and I will obviously lay out the core values, right? Like, okay, here's what we want, here's the vision, blah blah blah. For at least in a general sense, but what I think will be fun is to workshop this stuff live with you guys. Like, what core ideals, what goals, or how do we handle things? One thing that I mean, Elsa and I are both dads of twins. Like, I got a full-time job. We got a whole family. Plus we got content creation. Plus we got wanting to actually just play the game, right?
I gotta hang out
So
with my
one
wife
thing
sometimes.
sometimes occasionally.
Occasionally.
Phase two. We hang out with the wives.
Yeah.
We're gonna put that on the roadmap. Hang out, check on family.
Step out of office for first time in 3 months.
Right. Oh wow, Wisp says no one nice is a good guild name. No one nice.
That's nice.
I know that's pretty cool. It makes it seem like a corrupted guild too, like very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No one nice. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty cool. But yeah, voices in your head. I like it. Schizophrenic
like
variants.
I will say this, like Nice and I are PvPers at heart. Like that is what our core, like what we like to do the most. But I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to test freaking everything. Like I want to test the in-game economy. I'm going to test everything in this game. So if PvP isn't your number one thing and you like following, like you're in here right now, feel free to join and we'll figure it out. We'll test a bunch of stuff in Alpha 2 together.
Nice. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be fun to like just kind of get with you guys. What are you looking for from a guild? But the reason I said all that is because we're not gonna like be hardcore. You got a
Not for
guild
Alpha
meeting
2.
3 times a week.
Yeah.
You got to show up for this meeting. You got to do this. If you miss this world boss event, you're kicked from the guild. You got to send us $5 a month for guild expense. All that stuff. We're not gonna be doing all that. I don't know if you want to maybe say that makes it casual, but yeah, we're not gonna do all that extra stuff. We're gonna avoid doing anything too. Obviously, there's gonna be things like, hey, if you guys can show up here, blah blah blah. But it's not gonna be like IRL's number one priority, right? But yeah,
Old head gaming
and
for
maybe
the
we do some. Well, maybe we'll do some. You set up a PayPal and Discord. Let's go. Charge you protection money. Yes.
Oh yeah, we'll absolutely have a protection racket, guys, but just not for Alpha 2. Like that's where the RMT catching is. We gotta buy gold for that. So
Yes. Yes. You got to fund the RMT, guys. You
yeah.
got to fund the RMT. It's funny, but that's the actual thing for guilds. They actually
Oh
put
my
their
god.
guild funds and charge people and then spend it on gold for the guild. And yeah, that's crazy. But anyways, um, but I think we could start. I think once we get the general stuff, we can then start going into like, all right, what's gonna be our core thing? Because like Al said, we like PvP, even though it's not gonna be our only thing. We really, that's gonna be a good focus. So like, are we like holding down the open seas eventually once that's introduced, or are we gonna focus around being like a mafia, the Verran mafia, where we just like
Hmm.
taxing everybody on caravans, got a protection racket, you gotta pay a toll. You gotta pay a toll. We got scouts set up to make sure, we got scouts set up at each choke point to make sure people aren't running caravans without our say so. Unless it's someone from an ally guild, then maybe they get a pass or a discount. But yeah. But yeah, stay tuned for that. But this next Tuesday, we have content creator Nephis coming.
Yes.
Nephis, he's a ESO content creator, so he came from ESO like both no one and I did. And he's interested in Ashes of Creation. He's gonna have a lot of his own Ashes of Creation stuff going on. I think he's done like a good 2 or 3 Ashes of Creation videos himself. He's been following it loosely while still focusing on ESO and stuff. So we'll get his insight on it. I think it'll be a good point of view to get, because he follows, but maybe he's not like hardcore every day, keep up with everything follow. And he's been successful on a different game and ran large guilds on a different game. And he's like an end game. Like I would say Nephis is the end game PvE content creator for
The
ESO.
resource. Yeah.
Uh, like and like a hell of a resource. Like so yeah. So I think that would be a good insight to get like a PvE end game player, like hardcore raiders, like attitude towards Ashes of Creation. So I think that
Yeah.
would be really cool.
Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know him, like Nice said, he's basically created a raiding hub where his community, like that you go to his community to set up for raids, to learn to figure stuff out. He has come out with a lot of content about raiding, but just like the community that he's built for ESO has been really helpful for a lot of players. And I think he's going to do the exact same thing when he comes over to Ashes. And his main core game loop in ESO is completely different than mine and Nice's, and so it'll be fun to hear his perspective on this game, because obviously it probably won't align with us as well, but it'll be fun to see what he's excited about.
Yes, yes. And I think I'll be partnering with him a lot on some of that stuff. I want to like because else obviously the ESO what is it called, the Academy,
Yeah.
ESOU.
Yep.
I think that'll be fun. My goal is to become a real expert on one class, which I'm hoping it will be the tank archetype. So PvE and PvP, be able to help people. So that'll be a cool thing to do. I think that's another reason. Like I've said this before, but I think that's another reason I'm looking forward to the tank, and I'm hoping I can do some like hold it down with some tank DPS. But yeah,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to like get a 1v2 and then go into a raid and have a guide for this, have a guide for that. All things tank. But yeah, looking forward to more content. Stay safe, everyone. Enjoy the long weekend. Yes. Always fun to see the testing guild. Always see a lot of interesting things come from them, and usually in alphas. Yes. It's gonna be a good time, dude. I'm so excited. October's so close. Okay, so let's see. After today, we just got to get through technically still 2 more months, right? Yeah, it's still
Pretty
technically
much.
2 months ish
It's less
away.
than 2 months technically. tactically.
Yeah. I will say I am trying to pass the time as best as I can. So you guys, now that we're getting closer to Alpha 2, I'll be having I think I've been literally doing just Ashes of Creation besides some ESL member stream. I've just been doing Ashes of Creation content. But as we're getting close to Alpha 2, look for more like bonus streams like I did yesterday. Like I usually do 2 streams a week. Even my second one is more than likely going to be Ashes of Creation, or we'll be doing maybe even more Voices of Verra if we can find time.
Mhm.
Some more AOC focused stuff, maybe more videos. But I'm going to be passing the time into Alpha 2 by gaming. Um, as much as I love just sitting talking about Ashes of Creation, gaming helps me warm up and pass the time. So I just started WoW this week, as I've mentioned a couple times. So I might be streaming some WoW, just a new player experience stuff. Maybe we dip our toes into Throne of Liberty when that releases, right? Don't lie, becoming a WoW head. Dude, I'm a World of Warcraft main. Like, if you got any questions, hit me up. I can tell you how to open the map and like probably something else too, I'm sure. But yeah, that's gonna be wrapping it up here shortly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done. We'll have Nephis next week and literally just sleeping until Alpha 2 comes out. So I'm
I'm
just
looking
kidding.
into hibernation. You know that one South Park
Oh yeah,
episode where
just
Cartman
hibernating.
just couldn't wait for the Wii? Yeah,
Oh
just
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah, I might need to like follow that logic.
That's a good episode. I forgot about that one.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for everyone that subscribed, channel members, everyone that liked the stream, everyone on Twitch, everyone on YouTube, etc., etc. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm gonna go. Oh, it looks like Zillion is talking with the Copium Clinic. I'm sure that's a fun combo, and it looks like I don't know how long they've been streaming. Maybe about an hour. We'll go ahead and raid over to them, see what the
Oh,
Copium Clinic and Zillion thought about the recent showcase. So yeah,
gifted
I'll go ahead and
sub.
start a raid there. Oh yeah,
Thank
yes,
you,
thank y'all
Arctic.
so much.
Thank you for the gifted
Arctic
sub,
OP.
Arctic. Yeah. Let's right over to Zillion.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys.
And here
Catch you
we
in the next one.
go. All right, catch you guys. Peace. All right, stream